586, assignment number 3 gets a little more complex or intense. It's a design project. And so the point of this is to find ways to modify projects. Think about the SAMR model, um, that where students are not just following a recipe, but they're applying what they know to create something new. So you're taking that a little bit farther with this assignment. Is to design a project in which a student must demonstrate their skills and abilities to locate information online, evaluate that information, which is probably the biggest part of it, using online tools, and then apply that information to create something that answers questions, satisfies learning standards, draws conclusions, things of that nature. So, I mean, to frame this a little bit in old school terms, think of like WebQuest or HyperDocs, but something in that realm. There's two links to the ISTE standards, which is going to get referenced a lot in this course. But just looking at the student one, the things you're looking at is empowering learners, digital citizenship, knowledge constructor, innovative designer, computational thinker, creative communicator, and global collaborator. So what's nice is they have videos, if you don't really know what that means, in substandards with videos for all of those. And so there's a lot of great information on the ISTE website if you want to get those standards. So then before I even go over anything else, I do want to show you a student sample. And so stage one, you have your content standards, your goals, essential questions, what materials you might need. If you have a lesson plan template that you like, use it. You do not have to use this. This is just to show you an example. The student objectives, um, stage two, assessment evidence. So there's the rubric. That's going to be a part of it. You need to have the rubric. What type of learning plan, and then student work examples. And so that's a real quick overview. Once again, if you have your own template for lesson planning, use it. You do not have to recreate what this looks like. This is just showing you an example of what it might be. So here, what you have to have project guidelines and a lesson plan. It has to include standards, objectives, big ideas, key questions, or understandings, whatever you want to call that, and at least one ISTE standard. If you want to put your district standards on there or state standards as well, you are more than welcome to. But it does need at least one ISTE standard. I actually recommend using state standards as well. And if you have any district standards that you point to in your district, there needs to be a rubric with clear point values. That way, we know what you're asking the students to do. And then a student project. So if you have one and you can get permission, I know it's the summertime, or a mock assignment that you create to show is essentially what a mastery level assignment would look like. So things to be aware of: integration of online resources. Students show what they know by taking information and creating new solutions. Um, there needs to be project guidelines, rubric, sample student project. It all needs to be uploaded into Blackboard by Sunday. Um, right there, you can use the backward designs model. Once you can use any lesson plan kind of format that is good for you. That link right there is just going to that student link. And here's a nice article on UDL, Understanding by Design, or UDL, Universal Design as well. So right here, and I'll say this in a lot of my videos, please submit your lessons as a Word doc. If it's a Google Doc, the easiest way, honestly, is to download it as a PDF. So Blackboard does accept PDFs very, very well. What I recommend to all my students is upload it. You can download it and upload it as a Word doc or a PDF. And then also in the notes, put the Google link as well. So you can do both, but that Word doc or PDF has to be there. Putting the link is just nice because it's nice to see it in its original format. This rubric is a little bit longer, but it still only has, the 3 levels. The far right level is always mastery. The objectives to the big idea of the lesson. Learning objectives, are they appropriate? Objective is stated in specific measurable terms, aligned to lesson assessment. ISTE standards, once again, if you want to put state or district standards, you're welcome to. A list of materials needed, handouts needed, technology needed. Is it appropriate language for the procedures? Are the activities student-centered? Frequent check for understanding. Several multi-sensory supports. So a lot of information in this one right here, the procedures and instructions. Is there a rubric that's clear and measurable? And then do you have a sample student that really is, it fulfills, essentially it's an exemplar, it's the mastery level of that. So this, the first two assignments were fairly straightforward. This one gets a little more complex. So once again, if you have questions, please reach out to me, email, text, or call. Have a great week.